What is up, y'all? Capone Tony here, and welcome to another Ever Crisis video, and welcome to the second week of the Final Fantasy XIII crossover event that's going on right now. We have some things to go through here. Check the notices. We have a new content update for the FF13 event, as well as a new dungeon ranking, but like I always do, I'm going to focus on the new banner first, and that banner is Cloud and Glenn. So a lot of people thought it was going to be Cloud and Sephiroth, but it's Cloud with a new weapon and a costume, and it's just Glenn with a weapon. So if you cleared out panel missions already, you could already get this costume here for Glenn for essentially for free. It's a pretty good costume for him, actually. Good for his tanking build. So yeah. But anyway, Cloud here. Let's check it out. I think this aesthetic looks pretty cool. I actually kind of like it. I think this is supposed to be lightning, but it's like FF13-2 or FF13-3. I think it's FF13-2 lightning. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't played FF13 trilogy, but I like it. I like the color scheme, the red with the kind of tan. It's like two capes. Yeah. I think it looks pretty good. I think the sword looks really cool. It's got some knee pads. I don't know why, but I don't know. I think this aesthetic looks pretty cool. I'm kind of feeling this one. So the equilibrium, boost attack all allies plus 15 points. That's good. And then we got Savior's Creed, which does all allies HP plus 15%. So kind of a support type of our ability there. Attack stance, command gauge, physical and magic ability damage plus 20%. So it goes both ways. And then it's own magic, physical, and magic defense, 20%. So to me, this looks more like a really good, I don't know, like a more of a good support kind of costume than a DPS role. So that tells me that Cloud's setup is more on the support side. Not really crazy about this. I think this would be better on a character like Barrett, Aerith. I mean, Electro Armor is a lot like this in ways, just without the HP all allies, but yeah, interesting costume here for Cloud. I'm not, from a stat perspective, I'm not really sure I'm too crazy about this one. But anyway, let's check out the Crimson Blitz. Does 430% magic non-elemental damage. Also applies ailment ice weakness, 20% for 30 seconds. And then when HP 50% or more, you apply ice damage bonus. When yeah, for what, 20% damage dealt when you use an ice ability for all allies. So that's pretty cool. I think young Sephiroth got this with his second anniversary physical ice weapon. Just to point that out. The R abilities are boost attack and ice potency. You got physical attack, magic attack, and circle sigil boost. Interesting. We go next to OB1. Is this +2? Okay. Always got to check if these are +2 or +4 nowadays. 520%. Also, it's 3 ATB, by the way. And again, it's called Lightning Rush, but it's like deals with ice. It's so weird. So 520% magic, non-elemental damage. Same thing here. It's just a longer duration, 40 seconds. And yeah, ice bonus damage, 20%. If we go to, where are the R abilities? 32 and 24 at OB1. Pretty good, actually. OB6 is where we get 670% magic non-elemental damage. Now the ice weakness goes to 30% for 50 seconds. And then the ice ability, ice bonus damage goes to 25% of the damage dealt as well. Ice damage dealt. 40 and 40 in the R abilities. Yeah, so that's when it really starts to kick in a little bit better. And then at OB10, kind of the same. You just get a little bit more duration, 10 extra seconds on applying the ice weakness, as well as an extra 5% on the ice ability damage bonus. So I think OB6 is kind of where you want to be. Even at a lower overboost, this is like not too bad if you just want to use this for, you know, that niche type of content where you're applying a weakness, and so all the other characters can kind of benefit from that. This weapon at a low overboost is like not too bad. Like the R abilities aren't bad, and then you can the damage difference is what, 15%. So what, it goes from 20% to 30 at OB1 to OB6, and then the ice ability damage bonus is just 5% boost. So yeah, I think this weapon at a lower overboost is actually not too bad if you want it for this specific type of content. It's in my opinion, this weapon is very, very niche. I feel like this is going to be like an offhand to his full throttle weapon, or it could be an offhand to his anniversary weapon too, his half anniversary weapon, the physical ice one. But I don't know. This seems like, I don't know. I'm good with my Advent Children offhand weapon, the fusion sword, in most scenarios now. And for me, this is just a very niche type of weapon in Cloud's offhand that's gonna help him support, I assume, Magic Ice Tifa in this dungeon ranking. That's how I'm seeing this. So yeah, to me, this is very niche, but it can be usable at a low overboost. OB6 is, you're going to get more damage, like 15% more, essentially to the whole party, and more longer duration on the buffs and whatnot, buffs and debuffs, whatever. So the R abilities are really good, though, at OB10. Look at this, 46, 56. That's really good for, like, an ice weapon. Like, that's really, really nice. 46, 56. That's solid. So, yeah. What I think of Cloud's weapon, I think it's more of a niche type of weapon here. I feel like I would, it's going to be good for ice setups, in certain situations. Very specific for this dungeon ranking, because a lot of the enemies in this dungeon ranking don't have a weakness. So you're applying a weakness with this weapon, and then your Tifa or your Yuffie, whatever your other DPSs are going to benefit from that, and then they'll do the damage. Because that ice weakness is applied, you can apply the ice resist down after that. So yeah, if you don't have this weapon, dungeon ranking kind of sucks. Like, I already experimented with it. I still got a 5 million plus in dungeon ranking just by goofing around without this weapon, or even Vincent's weapon. Yeah, by the way, if you have Vincent's weapon, the 1.5 year anniversary one where you can apply an ice weakness, I feel like this weapon isn't like as super necessary as well, based on this gimmick alone. Yeah, to me, I'm not super impressed with this weapon. It definitely feels like very niche, very specific content it's tied to, and I'm just not sure how much use you would get out of this in the long run, in my opinion. So, yeah, if y'all have any different perspectives on that, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I just feel this is very niche. The costume, I'm not sure I would really get any use out of from like a stat perspective. When I'm using Cloud, I'm using him mainly as my DPS. He's going to have some kind of costume that's tying to his, his damage most of the time. And this does have damage on it, 20%, but there are definitely better costumes for him when it comes to his DPS setups in general. So I think someone just subbed to me. But yeah, anyway, yeah. Cloud, I'm not too crazy about this one. Let's go over to Glenn now. We'll cover his he has a weapon on this banner. Like I said, he already has a costume. You could get that just from panel missions. But anyway, the Snow Bardiche is 490% magic ice damage, single enemy. Enfeeble is applied. That's really good. I think he's the first. Is he the first tank to get Enfeeble? Because that's kind of cool. Magic attack is decreased, low to mid, and then we get magic defense is an increased low to mid to all allies. So this weapon actually does a lot of stuff in one cast, while also being a DPS weapon. HP and magic defense, there are abilities, magic attack, and X sigil boost. Is the X sigil boost +2? Okay. Always got to check it. 42 and 18 are the R abilities at OB1. 590% magic ice damage at OB1. A little bit extra duration on Enfeeble, as well as magic attack down. Yeah, that's 10 extra seconds on Enfeeble is kind of a big deal to get that to OB1. Still low to mid on these. OB6, 760% magic ice damage, while also Enfeeble is applied for 45 seconds now. Mid to high. So yeah, this weapon's really good as like this is what I mentioned about Glenn before. He needs a lot more of these type of weapons that do a lot of things in one cast. He didn't have Enfeeble before that, so that's really good. But then you combine it with defense up as well as magic attack down. Yeah, I think this weapon's really good. Even if it didn't even have the ice damage, I think it's really good. So, yeah, HP and magic defense. So if you're a Glenn main, yeah, I think I'd definitely recommend this one. Yeah, because he needs stuff like this for his kit, and this is a pretty good weapon here. At OB10, you got a 920% magic ice damage. So, I mean, that's not too bad from a DPS perspective. Like, he is a tank, but, that's not... The damage is not bad there. As well as the Enfeeble for a minute. And then mid to high, 35 seconds on both the M attack down and the magic defense is increased. So I think his costume also did like magic attack down, so he can take it up to tier 4 if I'm not mistaken. I have his costume. I just gotta check it out real quick. Let's just goof around here. So Glenn, yeah, let's check out his costume. So Glenn here, this was free. It does magic defense all allies 20%, which is really good. And then this is, yeah, magic attack down potency max tier +1. So yeah, with that weapon, you can essentially take magic attack down all the way up to extra high, 4 tiers at OB6. So yeah, and even at low overboost, you can take it to low to high. So that's pretty neat as well. So, and then you get these fire, you get all elements resistance +10. So this is actually a good free costume here for Glenn. That's actually a nice little freebie from Applebot. Rare Applebot W in my opinion. But yeah, that's pretty much this banner here. Let's check out the stamp card real quick. It's the typical stamp card, typical dog shit stamp card. I think the rates are a little bit better though, from what I saw in the notices. So let's check out the rates, details, and odds. It doesn't look any better to me, honestly. It's 1%. So yeah, it's the same rates it looks like, and the wish list I think is 0.8%. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, to me, this is kind of a niche setup for Cloud, in my opinion. But the Glenn weapon, I think, if you actually main Glenn, I think I would actually kind of recommend it. The Cloud weapon, I think the cool thing about it is I think it can still be usable at a low overboost. So if you just want to grab like a copy or two for dungeon ranking or maybe some future type of ice content or whatever, I think it's useful because it still applies the weakness. You still get the ice ability damage bonus AOE. But you just get more at OB6. That's essentially the difference. And yeah, you can still make this weapon work at a lower overboost. Our abilities are obviously going to be worse at a lower overboost, but yeah, it can still work at a lower overboost if you just want to grab a copy or two for specific niche type of content. For me, I'm going to skip it because crystals, you know, very limited. And there's going to be Nier Automata. I got to check out what Sephiroth's going to get for this event as well. And yeah, you know, that's how it is for the light spenders in this game. Glenn, if you are a Glenn main, I think this is actually a pretty good setup. I don't care about Glenn, but this is really good. You get Enfeeble, magic attack down, and magic defense up. And you can take magic attack down up to 4 tiers. So good tanking weapon here for Glenn, good utility weapon. Yeah, if you're a Glenn man, I actually recommend this. Even at a lower boost, I think it's pretty good because having Enfeeble is worth it in itself, in my opinion. And then you get, you know, these two at the same time as well. But OB6 is where it really is pretty good. So, yeah, what do y'all think of this banner? Are y'all going to pull? Are y'all going to skip? Anything I didn't consider with these weapons or, you know, this banner in general, let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, for me, I'm personally going to skip this one. Wish list wise, you would combine this weapon most likely with this full throttle weapon here for Cloud. So you would definitely, I would say, wish list that. You care about Glenn, weapons that are good for him are obviously like this one, or the Viking weapon is really good. Even he has another ice weapon too, as Provoke, so there's that. But having a physical ice and a magic ice weapon at the same time doesn't really make sense. But anyway, it's just kind of, yeah, wish list wise, mainly it's just Clouds with this weapon here, full throttle DPS weapon, then the new weapon, the offhand. And then Glenn is just a bunch of his utility weapons if you want to wish list for that. So, or you could just wish list on the newer stuffs like this stuff right here, the new Angeo weapons in here. This thing's really good for Earth setups. What else was just added? I think Lucia's weapon was just added recently. Yeah, physical defense decreased with ice damage is increased. AOE, something like that's really good. I'm still catching up personally on this weapon. P attack increase, lightning AOE for Aerith, you know. A lot of weapons I can start wish listing. Yeah, about to finish off Rocker's guitar as well for Yuffie. So yeah, wish list kind of up to you at this point. But I would say, yeah, this weapon definitely goes with the new Cloud weapon, and let's say Viking weapon and this weapon. You can, you know, good utility weapons here for Glen. So yeah, let me know what y'all gonna do with this banner. Are y'all going to pull? Y'all going to wait for the next banner to see what Sephiroth gets or near Automata event? Yeah, let me know in the comment section below. All right, let's cover the rest of the updates. So it's pretty funny. This content update, it was supposed to come out at 9 p.m. Eastern, and it, for whatever reason, Applebot had everything updated in this event, but then like when it they just didn't push it out. Like there was no draw, there was no content. It was just kind of weird for like the first like 40 minutes. Yeah, it took them a while to for them to notice, like I guess they forgot to check a box or something for all the content to be updated. So pretty goofy in my opinion. Maybe we'll get some apology gems for that. But anyway, event dungeon ranking is going on right now. The Chow statue, I'm currently in 6th. I got a score of 5 million just by doing a garbage run. I can show you my setup I went with. It wasn't really great. Like I said, applying an ice weakness is going to be just so much better in this dungeon ranking. You're going to do much better DPS wise. I went with full throttle Cloud with the fusion sword in the offhand, Yuffie with little red wreath and this weapon to apply ice resist down, but I only got to use it against Ifrit in the whole thing. Or I got to use it against Ifrit in the final boss, which was that Masamune, old man. Sick and tired of that freaking old bastard. He keeps coming back. But yeah, I applied ice resist down to only 2 enemies in this event. The other 3 were like Rufus and, you know, the enemies that are, you know, you do the dungeon ranking is favoring ice damage as well as like all the bonuses in the dungeon ranking. And but applying that ice weakness down is the only way you can get more damage from applying ice resist, or applying an ice weakness is the only way you can use ice resist down. So damage stacks up a lot if you can apply an ice weakness, and I'm not gonna pull specifically for that. Like I said, if you don't have Cloud's new weapon, you can technically use Vincent's 1.5 year anniversary weapon. If you have it, you'd have to go with more of a physical ice setup. I think this is more favored toward magic though, based on this. So yeah, kind of a conundrum if you use Vincent as well, because you won't be doing as much damage as a magic ice team, but you can probably still make it work just based on the buffs and whatnot that you pick during the dungeon ranking. But yeah, I went with this setup. Aerith, physical defense up, magic bonus damage, ice damage up on both Yuffie and Cloud. Magic attack all allies, magic attack all allies, boost attack all allies, other back weapons, magic attack all allies, buff debuff extension, electro cannon for magic attack, magic ability potency, and then magic attack, magic ability potency from double stem E. Cloud was using boost attack, magic ability potency, boost magic attack ice potency, and magic attack all allies with magic ability potency. Like I said though, this was a very kind of lousy run for me, and I still, you know, 5 million easily cleared all the rewards you could get from the score. You only need to get 4 million to get everything. I might do a video on this to kind of cover more in depth, especially since, you know, I'm not having applying an ice weakness weapon. That alone it's not going to make me do as well as other people, unfortunately, which is just dumb. I hate that. But anyway, it's dungeon ranking. I'm not like too serious about it. As long as you can get, honestly, top 300 for this, you should be, you know, happy with your dungeon ranking results. But usually, even without the most meta setups, I can usually get like top 50, like no problem. So we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, that's dungeon ranking, favoring ice, but really favoring a team that can apply that ice weakness as well. All right. So also, I already know this, not even checking the notices, but there is new story content in the Final Fantasy XIII crossover event. We also have rose petals that you can earn by doing the new battles, which I think, new solos and new co-ops. Yeah, Lightning 4 as well as a co-op here for Lightning 3. New content, first clears to do. You can get 4 more gold gacha tickets, well 5 actually, and then you can get Branding Stone, more gacha tickets, attacker memories, tanker or healer memories, Branding Stones, you know, typical stuff here. I cleared everything out there. You can get a 5-star Ruin, more refined Mithril ingots, Sid specific weapon parts, which is really nice. Synth Catalyst Day, Mithril ore, and then all your typical stuff. So yeah, more new content. The second part of the Final Fantasy 13 crossover event is on right now, so check that out. And outside of that, I think there is a step-up draw. Yeah, I think there's just a new step-up draw. Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier with the delays. Are they going to give us something for this? Schedule, but we're delayed due to an extra time required for final checks. Okay, very sorry for this. Event and content question are currently available. Oh, we're not going to get any apologies things. Claim crystals. Okay, I think you get like 4,000 or so for doing dungeon ranking, which is pretty good. All right, step up draw. By the way, I haven't gotten anything from this daily one draw. I've gotten nothing but blues and purples. Some people have tagged me on Twitter, saying like, "Oh, I got the Cid Ultimate. And I've been getting the gold weapons for Cloud and Tifa." I'm like, "You bastards!" I mean, happy for you, but you bastards. But yeah. Oh, there's a second step draw, so you can at least get one free 10 pull from this. So go ahead and do that. Tifa. Motor drive. That's like OB10 plus like 30. So cool. All right. And that is that pretty much. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else to cover. So yeah, are y'all going to pull on the Cloud banner? Are y'all going to wait on that? What do y'all think of the other content that's going on in this game? Let me know in the comment section below. So yeah, if y'all enjoy my Ever Crisis content, please give this video a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all on the next one. Later.